Want to learn to code but a little short on cash? I've got the best deals on getting ready for your coding career coming up next. Hi, I'm Mark Lassoff. I've taught over 2 million people coding and digital design online. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be discussing the costs associated with learning to code. I'm going to talk to you about all your options. But before I get started, can I ask you to do me a small favor and hit that like button and subscribe to our channel? That'll help us to keep bringing you great videos like this one. And I do want to start with a short disclaimer today. I want to be 100% transparent here. I do run an online coding program that gets people ready for their first jobs in the industry. I personally believe that technical learning should be accessible to everyone, so my program is priced at $9.95 per month. There's a link to the program down below. However, I'm going to leave that out of my discussion today and look objectively at all your options. Here we go. We'll start with the most expensive options and work our way down to the cheap options, or even free ones. Option number one, university education. There's a lot of discussion about the value of a college education. One side argues that it's invaluable. Universities don't just offer job training, but also offer a liberal arts education that makes you better at solving problems, thinking critically, writing, and communicating. The other side argues that the costs of a college education have inflated to the point where it's financially impossible for most people to graduate without being hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. The thing is, both sides are correct. All things being equal and leaving costs out, university education is probably the best option if you're 18 years old and have the funds. The value of the university level training will give you mobility in your career, access to certain jobs that require a degree, and often a faster track to moving up within larger companies. Wherever you come down on the debate around college education, we do know one thing for sure. College graduates on average make over $1 million more in their lifetime than people who only have a high school diploma. There's significant disadvantages of going the university route if you're not a traditional college student age or don't have a lot of money to throw at your education. The financial downsides are well known, but another aspect to consider is time. A university degree on average takes 4.5 years to complete. Do you really want to spend the next half decade in school? It's quite possible if you're older or working that this just isn't feasible. For public universities, tuition and fees range from a low of $14,821 per year at the University of Utah, excellent computer science program by the way, to a high of $29,500 per year at the University of Vermont. For private schools, you're looking at an even more expensive experience, with many schools charging over $50,000 per year. The most expensive right now are Columbia and the University of Chicago at over $58,000 per year. A couple of my close friends went to the University of Chicago, hey Brian, and were extremely successful, by the way. If you do have an extra 60 grand lying around, college might be your best option. All right, option number two, traditional boot camps. Now that the COVID-19 crisis is coming to a rapid close, we're gonna see the traditional in-person coding boot camps starting up again. These can be very effective, and some even guarantee a job if you complete the program, although these programs are very selective. These traditional coding boot camps also tend to be time limited, averaging around 15 weeks long. I should mention that these programs, if they're any good, are very intense. Some people in these programs spend 14 to 16 hours a day working on the classwork and projects. Obviously, that's not easy to do if you're working, have a family, or need to maintain any type of life outside of the boot camp. Before I talk about the exact costs of coding boot camps, I should mention something important. Several boot camps have gotten into trouble with the government and have been accused of fraud. Holberton School, which operates a tuition-deferred program in multiple locations, is under investigation by the state of California for a number of things, including falsifications in its operating application. Mind Minds was subject to a New York Times expose for its shady practices in West Virginia. There are other examples of this, so if you're going to invest in a coding boot camp, be sure to check them out online and check them out with your state authorities to make sure they're on the up and up. The average cost of a coding boot camp program is $12,000 to $15,000 for a program that lasts about 15 weeks. At the higher end, we have boot camps like Galvanize, which costs over $18,000. Their program's excellent, however, and they have campuses in tech capitals like Austin, Denver, and San Francisco. Also on the higher end is Hack Reactor's 12-week immersive program. Hack Reactor, however, does have almost 100 graduates coding at Google, one of the most prestigious jobs in tech. Flatiron School, another well-respected bootcamp program, costs around $15,000 for their program, but also offers significant scholarships for underrepresented groups in tech. So if you come from a minority background, this is definitely worth asking about. General Assembly, one of the biggest and oldest education providers, charges around $14,000 for their 12-week immersive program. A little bit less expensive, but still very good, is Dev Mountain, founded by my old friend Kaylin Sharp in Provo, Utah. Dev Mountain will set you back about $12,000 for its 13-week program, which is also available in Phoenix. There is one bargain to be had, and it's in the Pacific Northwest. Operating in Portland and Seattle is Epicodus. You can enroll in their impressive 17-week program for as little as $7,800. Many of the programs I've mentioned have options like financing, tuition deferrals, and other things to make the programs more affordable. Some even have the option to pay a percentage of your salary once you get a job. But these options do increase the overall cost of attendance, and some have been subject to scrutiny by regulatory authorities. Option number 3, community college programs. I think if there's an underused resource on this list, it's community colleges. When most people think of community college, they think of the media representations like the oddballs on the show Community. The reality is that community colleges offer great programs and great opportunities for development students at prices that are truly affordable. Almost every town with a couple of stoplights has a community college. Where four-year public college costs range from $15,000 to $30,000 yearly, community colleges range from $1,500 to $4,000 yearly. Community colleges also tend to have a range of programs that teach coding. Many colleges have a formal computer science program, which prepares you to transfer into a four-year university program, or for many entry-level jobs. Community colleges also have programs that more directly train for jobs in industry. Austin Community College, as an example, has programs in web development, database management, computer science, game development, and multimedia development. If you have the time, community colleges can give you an excellent entry point into the industry in just a year or two for not a whole lot of money. Option number 4, online boot camps. These boot camps are similar to the traditional in-person boot camps that I discussed earlier, but of course they occur online. Online education isn't for everyone. You need to have a level of discipline and determination that isn't required when you're in person. Simply taking an in-person course and delivering it online is a recipe for disaster. In-person learning isn't easily converted to quality online learning. Programs that are generated specifically for an online audience tend to work better. Some of these online courses provide recordings of live lectures. Others have produced material directly for online consumption. Obviously, it's better when the lectures are created for the online audience. Because they don't have the costs associated with in-person boot camps, you would think these online boot camps tend to be cheaper, but that's not necessarily the case. General Assembly's online software engineering immersive program is just under $15,000 and lasts for 12 weeks. Full Stack Academy charges nearly $18,000 for their online program. If you do want to do an online bootcamp program, realize it isn't necessarily going to save you money. The reason to do this type of program is that you can do it from home, and they're often more flexible than in-person programs. Know yourself, though. Are you the type of person who works well alone at home? Will you be able to deal with being online for hours and hours at a time? Obviously, post-COVID, these online boot camps are here to stay, but it's not necessarily the best option for everyone. Option number 5. Self-teaching can be very cost-effective, but you have to be very focused. The biggest complaint I've heard from those who are self-teaching is they don't know what to learn and in what order. One of the advantages of a formal program is they provide you with a curriculum, or what I call a roadmap, that you follow to reach your goals. For those of you who are self-teaching, there is no such roadmap. There are loads of resources available for those who are teaching themselves to code. YouTube has some excellent tutorials that are free. Udemy has free courses, and some of these are every bit as good as the ones you pay for. There are a number of great websites with coding lessons and tutorials. When you're self-teaching, you have to evaluate the quality of the resources that you find, and not everything is going to be good. If you have a little money to invest, you can look into paid courses on Udemy and LinkedIn Learning. Udemy has a review system that will point you to the better courses on the platform. Everything on LinkedIn Learning is either produced in-house by LinkedIn, or goes through a strict vetting process to ensure that you're getting quality learning content. I should know, I teach for LinkedIn Learning. The total cost of self-teaching is somewhere between $0 and $500. You can move as slowly or as quickly as you want, so you can work self-teaching around jobs and family obligations. All right, so in this video, we discussed 5 options for learning to code and becoming job ready. Some are very expensive and some inexpensive. There's no right way to learn for everybody. I hope that you found this video useful. If you did, a quick reminder to subscribe to the channel and like this video. Please check the links below for more information about my Framework membership program, where you can learn professional level coding skills for just $9.95 a month. I'm Mark Lassoff. See you in the next video.